Hello fellow traders, and welcome back to this video where I'll try to get some sort of overview over the Forex market. Now, if you have heard my videos before, you know that I often have a lot of focus on the news to see if there are some major news that can really disrupt the different trends that we are investing into. And we must say that this night here, that is night my time, Danish time, we have the Fomc meeting where Fed is gonna tell us about their interest rate decisions, and I must admit that that is one of the big drivers right now. The thing is that on the Fomc meeting we often see that Fed is coming out with, of course, their interest rate decision, but also some speculations as for the future. And when we're looking at the interest rate decision, we can look here at this website. It is called the Fomc Countdown, or you can Google the Fomc Countdown. It is on the smegroup.com, but just Google Fomc Countdown and you can see this one here. What we see here is that there are 10 hours and 9 minutes till the meeting, the Fed meeting tonight, and we can also see what the market prices in, what the market expects will be the current rate they will communicate out to us. And there is, in my mind, no doubt that we will see the 0 to 25 base point after today too. The thing is that they will probably also announce today that they will start their tapering, meaning that every single month they're buying up $120 billion worth of bonds. That is some treasuries and some mortgage-backed securities, and they will start that tapering now, probably up until next summer. Now, actually, the latest numbers, the latest growth numbers from the GDP, etc., has not been too great, but the inflation rate is still high, so they will need to do something. They will need to start this tapering so they can start some interest rate hikes next year. And you might say, wow, interest rate hikes, shouldn't that be until 2023? And yes, you would suppose so. But if we look at, we can look in the future here, what the markets are assuming will happen. You can see that already in March, there's only, and this is only a prediction by the market, an 86.4% chance that the interest rate will be close to zero. There is a 13% chance the market evaluates us as a single rate hike. And you can see as we move forwards towards summer times here, the chance of the interest still being around zero is getting smaller and smaller. And when you ask the market, and this can shift from day to day, but if you ask the market in September, it is more than likely that we have seen at least one rate hike. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, why am I telling you all this? Well, because that the tapering tonight and the announcement that Fed will come out with is actually kind of important, or very important, both to the interest rate but also to the US dollars. Meaning that if we're looking at this spaghetti chart as we normally do, if we're looking at the daily chart first here, you can see that this green line here is the dollar, and it has had a upwards direction since here in mid-October, late October. It has just been moving slowly upwards, meaning that people are expecting higher interest rates, or that is at least what the market is starting to price in. So the dollar is going up, so is the euro actually, the yen is going up, the British pound is bottoming out here, the Swiss franc is topping a bit off here and going down, and we can see that the New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar here as well is going down. So yeah, the CAD as well is topping off. So that is some of the directions I would be looking at. Now, looking at this area here below, we can see the direction of the different lines here. So what I really like is to see, for instance, the Australian dollar here if that goes down on the daily, I would also like it to go down on the 4-hour time frame, but it doesn't. It is actually going up on the 4-hour time frame, and it is as well on the 1-hour time frame. The CAD, you can see, is going down on all 3 time frames. Euro is mixed, GDP is mixed, Swiss franc is going down on all 3 time frames, and New Zealand dollar is mixed. Might be going into the green here soon. Then we have an all green. We have the United States dollar that is mixed, and the yen is mixed. So there's actually not very much to gain from looking at this right now. There's not very much true direction here where we can say we are taking one very weak comparing to one very strong for short, or the other way around for a long. But let me show you what I have on right now, which trades I'm having on. And we can take them from the top. Let's just have a quick look here. We have the CAD Swiss. Now, the CAD Swiss is a fairly new trade, and I know it is conflicting a bit with the spaghetti chart we just saw, but I simply had to take this one. If we start at the top here, we can see that we are reaching a level for the CAD Swiss that is very significant here. It has been bouncing off this quite often. Looking at the daily chart here, you can see that at this point here we saw a lot of high wicks on the top, meaning that the sellers were really pushing in here. And when we're looking at this, we are also, well, we're seeing wicks a bit of both sides here, but we're seeing a clear direction down from this top. And looking at the 4-hour time frame, it just becomes clearer. As you can see here, every time we get a big power move down, then we get a bit of a weary retracement here, and up here in the retracement we see some very high top wicks here, which is what I'm looking for. So I was short on it here. I took 2R here, then we went up here, we had a power move down, we had a retracement, we had long wicks on the top. I'm timing on my hourly of 15 minutes. But then there was an easy 2R down here, and right now, as you can see, it just keeps moving on here, and we could draw, yeah, well, this was a bit of a broad area. I waited until it got down here before I took it, and this one as well. It is turning just right here, so I simply had to take this, although it was a bit of a conflicting with the CAD Swiss both going down here on my spaghetti charts. But that is how it is. You cannot get the perfect picture all the time. All right, as you can see right now, we are on the 15 minutes time, bouncing a bit back and forth here. And right now, actually, we are making a very high upper wick here. So if we could come down here, that would definitely suit my position well. All right, the other position I have here is a euro dollar. And I've had that for quite a while, actually. You can see as well, we had this daily level up here that was rejected massively down here. And I don't trade this move down here in itself. However, what I am looking at, let's just enlarge this a bit on the euro dollar, is that we had this bottom level here. It shot up from here, got thrown back here, and then we returned to this level. And right now, I took a short here. This is a bit of a longer term. It's mostly on the 4-hour time frame I was timing this. So this is something, we have a 1-to-1 here. So I'm actually aiming for something like a 2-to-1 or something like that on this one. But that can play out over several weeks here. So no rush there. All right, the last position I have right now is a New Zealand dollar Swiss. And that is a short as well, and I know that on the 15-minute time frame it looks quite violent, this one, but let's just have a look at it on the daily time frame. Now it did make a higher top here, but then it moved down, tried to bounce off of this top, and then was moving down again through this top area. We saw some very large wicks on top here, so that told me it was time to try and look for short on the 4-hour time frame. Now on this time frame, as you can see, we got some movement down. It tried to get up, but then it violated structure back here. It would have been nice to see the break here, but that came later. I took the trade, as you can see here, we got a lower top here with some higher wicks here, and I actually timed it a bit on the 15-minute time frames, but this is as well a 4-hour time frame trade, so I am aiming for something down here in the 0.644 area-ish, and that is something where we can just let it work slowly. You can see it worked my way in the beginning, then it went against me, and then it was working in the right direction. So I'm quite confident that this will just slowly move in the right direction. All right, that's all for now. As you can see, sometimes I'm working a bit against my normal spaghetti charts and simply taking the trade setups, which is working quite well, I must say. Even in a volatile and quickly shifting market, as we have seen lately, they have been making some very nice profits. All right, I hope this was some sort of inspiration to you, and I'll be back in next week with some more charts.